Dear Richard, do you remember the photograph you took of what happened to your train on the way to Waterloo in April 1967? Your mother very kindly gave me a set and they helped our artist to draw at least 2 of the pictures for Super Rescue. Anyway, Super Rescue is the story which your pictures told me. I hope you will enjoy it and the other 3 stories as well. The author.
One morning, Gordon was in the yard taking on a large supply of coal. "That's the 3rd load of coal you've had today, Gordon," said James. "Some might say you're being rather greedy." "I'm an important engine," replied Gordon. "Important engines need plenty of coal, but I doubt if you would understand that, James." James snorted and went about his work. Later, Gordon was taking on water from a standpipe because the water tower was under repair. "I wouldn't drink too much of that water if I were you, Gordon. It might give you boiler ache." "Pah," said Gordon. "What's this, educating Gordon Day? First James, now you, Duck. Big engines have big needs. Little engines are just annoying." "Don't say I didn't warn you," laughed Duck. Later, Gordon steamed into the yard at the big station. "That's what I need," exclaimed Gordon. There, emerging out of the sheds, were 2 shiny tenders. "Now, if I had 2 tenders," said Gordon, "I wouldn't need to stop so often, and I wouldn't have to listen to silly little engines." "Those tenders belong to a visitor," replied his driver. Diesel sidled up alongside. "Everyone knows that tenders are a mark of distinction, but I'm afraid that no amount of tenders will save you in the end. We Diesels are taking over, and we don't need tenders to make us important, not even one." Gordon was most upset. He was feeling just the same next day. "I'm not happy." "I know," said Duck. "It's boiler ache." "It's not boiler ache," protested Gordon. "Of course it is," interrupted Henry. "That water's bad. Have a good washout. Then you'll feel a different engine. Your boiler must be full of sludge." "Don't be vulgar," puffed Gordon. He backed down onto his train, hissing mournfully. "Cheer up, Gordon," said Sir Topham Hatt. "I can't, sir. Is it true what Diesel says, sir?" "What does he say?" "That Diesels are taking over." "Don't worry, Gordon. That will never happen on my railway." "One more thing, sir. Why did the visitor have 2 tenders?" "Because he lives on a railway with long distances between coaling depots." Gordon felt better. But Henry started complaining. He banged some cars angrily. "I always work hard enough for 2, he puffed. "I deserve another tender." Duck whispered something to Donald. He was going to play a trick on Henry. "Henry," he asked, "would you like my tenders?" "Yours? What have you got to do with tenders?" "All right," said Duck. "The deal's off. Would you like them, Donald?" "I wouldn't deprive you of the honor," replied Donald. "It is a great honor," continued Duck thoughtfully, "but I'm only a tank engine. Perhaps James might—" "I'm sorry I was rude," said Henry hastily. "How many tenders have you, and when could I have them?" "I have 6, and you can have them this evening." "6 lovely tenders," chortled Henry. "What a splendid sight I'll be." Henry was excited all day. "Do you think it will be all right?" he asked for the umpteenth time. Of course, said Doc. They're all ready now. The other engines waited where they could each get a good view. But Henry wasn't a splendid sight at all. His six tenders were very old, dirty, and filled with boiler sludge. Had a good washout, Henry, called a voice. That's right. You'll feel a different engine now. Henry was not sure, but he thought the voice belonged to Gordon.
One day at the station, two visitors from the other railway came to see Sir Topham Hatt. They had some news to tell them.
Hello there. Are you Sir Topham Hatt?
Why, yes I am. And you two are?
Oh, goodness gracious. We forgot to introduce ourselves.
How rude of us. Where are our manners?
I have no idea. Anyway, we are train inspectors from the other railway.
We were wondering if you would like to have a deal with us about two diesel engines.
Two diesels, huh? I'm listening.
Their names are D199 and D7101. They are hard-working diesels who don't stop for anything till the job is done.
If you say yes, then we will immediately send them here so they can start working.
Wow, I don't know. I already have 3 diesels who are hard workers, and I used to have a diesel on this island for a couple of days, but I sent him away because of the chaos he was causing.
I see what you mean, but how hard do those 3 work?
Besides, we made sure these diesels won't cause any chaos. So anything bad happens, it possibly won't be their fault.
So, Topham, what do you say?
I'm not sure. But how about this? They can come here for a while, and I can tell them what they need to do as a test. If it all goes well, then I will buy them. Is that a good enough deal for you two?
Absolutely.
We will tell them to come here the minute we come back.
Great. I'll let my engines know about this later today, and we'll see what happens from here. So Sir Topham Hatt told the engines about the deal, and it wasn't until nighttime came when they arrived at the sheds where Henry, James, and Duck were.
I think it's time, 7101, that we take this railway over.
Quite 199. It's their railway after all.
Ha! Not for long. It won't be theirs. Besides, our old controller said that these steam engines spoil our image.
Of course we do. It shows what frogs you are.
And you call yourselves trains? If anything happens to you, you'll be sent for scrap and we'll be able to take your place. Besides, nothing happens to us because we are reliable.
Reliable, you say? Why, you son of a...
Why, how rude of you!
You deserved it. Now shut up.
Henry didn't say anything. He was worried about what Sir Topham Hatt will do with him and the other engines. The next day, he finished his work for the day and was rolling home tender first.
I have a failed engine. I lost my regulator. Driver said that it's jammed wide open, and you can't mend it till it's cooled off. However, I do have steam. Driver can use my reverser, but after Duck tricking me with those 6 tenders, I don't think I'll let Driver use my reverser very much because he'll laugh at me for going tender first if he sees me.
Just then, he stopped at a signal. He waited for another engine to pass by so the signal can change, but nothing happened. After a couple of minutes of waiting, the signalman finally arrived with some news.
Diesel 199 came to a halt. He needs an engine to pull him to the next station. Do you think you can do it?
Henry remembered what the diesel said last night, but he knew that helping an engine with a load is the right thing, so he plucked up courage and said,
I'll try.
And he went on the other side of the track. A couple minutes later, he found D199 just sitting there, while he was being cross. He was even more cross when he saw Henry coming towards him.
What are you doing here?
I was asked to help you after you broke down and need to drop you off to the next station.
Help? I don't need help from a steam engine. I'd rather stay here and wait for the workmen to arrive and fix me.
Well, too bad, Spam Can. I'm going to pull you, whether you like it or not, and you'll just have to deal with it.
Spam Can? How dare you call me that? I'll have your controller know about this.
Too bad. He listens to us steamies more than you, Diesels. Now, are you done complaining, so I can concentrate on where I was going?
The Diesel didn't say anything else. He knew that he couldn't talk his way out of this one. So Henry took it as a yes, and started off. Everything was going fine like clockwork. But then there was even more trouble. D7101 was sitting still on the branch line, and his guard was holding a red flag. So Henry came to a stop and listened to what the guard had to say.
7101 has broken down. We need a strong engine to push him to the station. And since you're here, you might as well be the engine to do it. Don't you think?
Oh, I doubt you'll be able to pull another diesel engine. He already has to pull me and this heavy load.
Why don't you just shut up already, 199? Just give him a chance.
But Henry didn't listen to what 199 said. He wasn't sure how he'll do because he'd never done anything like this before. But he decided to give it a try. So he hooked up behind the coaches, blew his whistle, and he was off. His face was turning red, his axles ached, but he continued pulling 199 and pushing 7101. At last, he made it to the station, where Gordon, Thomas, and Donald were waiting. 199 was very surprised.
I don't believe it. An old steam engine pulling and pushing two diesels, able to make it to the station.
See, 199? I told you he can do it.
The passengers roared out of the coaches, yelling at the talking hat. But he explained to them that if it wasn't for Henry, then they wouldn't be there. So the passengers turned to Henry and cheered. Henry was exhausted. He was never this tired before. The passengers were calling him an enterprising engine and took his photograph. Henry left the coaches so another engine can take it and park the freight cars on a different track. When Donald was coupled up to D199 and the load, Sir Topham Hatt gave both him and Henry a job to do. Donald, please take D199 to the other railway. I'll talk to the inspectors later. And Henry, you could take Diesel 7101 to the works. I don't think he was even a bad diesel at all. So the two engines did what they were told. On the way to the works, Henry and 7101 were talking.
I'm sorry about last night and at the sheds and what happened earlier today. 199 just wants every single steam engine to be scrapped so he and the other diesels can take over.
Oh, it's alright. At least you weren't on Mr. Root's side and knew that steamies are better than he thought.
Well, I also want to apologize about myself today for making a fool out of myself.
Rubbish. A failed ejector happens to any diesel. Besides, I lost my regulator this morning, so I guess it makes us equal today.
You failed, and yet you're still able to help two heavy diesels?
Well, I had to help with the emergency, and thanks to me, you and Bamkin made it.
You know, I think we're going to get along just well after I'm fixed.
Henry agreed. 7101 didn't say anything else. He had a lot to think about. Do you think he'll stay on the island? I guess we'll just have to find out in the future story.
One day, Edward was talking to Trevor when Douglas steamed by. He was pulling a train of heavy coal cars. Come on, Edward. Stop gossiping in the sun when there's work to be done. Later, Edward spoke to Douglas. Trevor and I are old friends, and you and he have a lot in common, too. We do? Quizzed Douglas. And what would that be? Scrap, said Edward quietly. Douglas gasped. Don't mention that word. It makes me wheels wobble. It does the same to Trevor, replied Edward. He was being sent to the scrapyard, but the vicar and I saved him, and now he's really useful again. Even so, Sir Topham Hatt certainly does need another steam engine here. Aye, he does, and quickly. That night, Douglas was still working. He had taken the midnight goods train to a station at a faraway part of the island where only the diesels work. He was just shunting, ready for his return journey, when... That sounds like a steam engine, he thought. The hiss came again. Who's there? Asked Douglas. A whisper came. Are you Sir Topham Hatt's engine? I am proud of it. Well, I'm Oliver, and I'm with my brake van Toad. We've run out of coal and have no more steam. But what are you doing? Escaping. From what? Scrap. Douglas shivered. Then he remembered Edward's story about saving Trevor. I'll be glad to help you. It'll have to look, though, as if you're ready for scrap and I'm taking you away. Their drivers and firemen agreed to help, too. Everyone worked fast. No time to turn round. I'll run tender first. Come on. Before they could clear the station, they were stopped. Aha! Called the foreman. A Great Western engine and a brake van, too. You can't take these. Aye, but they're all for us, said Douglas's driver. See for yourself. The foreman looked all over Oliver. Seems in order. Right away, guard. We've had worse, replied Oliver, and they forged ahead. It was daylight when their journey ended. We're home, cried Douglas. Shh, said his driver. There are the works. We'll find a place for Oliver. Oliver said goodbye and thank you, and Douglas puffed away. The next day, Douglas told the other engines all about Oliver. Sir Topham Hatt will have to know, said James. Douglas should tell him at once, added Gordon. Well, here he is, said a voice. Now, what's this all about? Beg pardon, sir, but we do need another engine. Yes, sir, ventured Gordon. A steam engine, sir. Well, unless one is saved from scrap, there's little hope. But, sir, one has. Yes, indeed. And thanks to you, Douglas, he is now at our works. Oliver is just what we need for Duck's branch line. Everyone cheered. Now Oliver and Toad are mended and painted in full Great Western colors. Duck and Oliver are happy on their branch line. The others laughed at first and called it the Little Western. Duck and Oliver were delighted, and so the Little Western it will always be.